Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a combination of both a 2024 plan with me as well as a little coffee chat because we have a lot to talk about, because quite frankly, when you are planning a year, that is going to be the biggest time of the year, or at least if you're like me, where you're planning lots of things. You're kind of setting the tone for the year, you're picking your word for the year, you're deciding what are we working on, what are our goals, what are we really going to focus on. And then from that, for the entire year focus, we're going to break that down into a 12-week year, we're going to break that down into monthly goals, and then we're going to take that even further into our weekly and daily goals. Today we're also going to talk about some other things that I am incorporating and implementing into my planning, and then I want to show you a couple of things that I got that are new, that I am using, and all of that. So let's get into it. Grab yourself a coffee or something else to drink and let's do it. Okay, so first and foremost, let's get comfy, because as you can see, I am in my little planning corner, if you will. A lot of times I like to make this into like a little reading palette, and I'll pile up blankets and pillows and I'll lay down here. This is technically a dog bed, but my dogs do not use it at all. But it is so comfortable. It has a thick padding, plus it has like this egg crate foam. Super comfortable. So get comfortable, grab your drink, and let's dive into planning for 2024. Now, I want to make it like obvious if it's not already. Today is the 15th of January. So we are officially midway through the first month of the year, and I am just now coming to you with a plan with me. But I want to just explain that number one, it is never too late to plan your year, to plan your month, to plan your quarter, to plan whatever it is. It is never too late. Having this mindset that we are behind in life is what causes stress and anxiety, and it's what causes us to give up before we've ever even started. So I, for one, refuse to accept that I am behind or too late, because I am really proud of the goals that I've set for myself this year. I'm really thankful for the time that I took to plan all of these things out, to really think through these things, and I'm excited now to come to you and share all that with you. So in the event that you are sitting here on January 15th or whatever day you're watching this, and you're thinking, wow, I'm so behind, or I haven't even planned any goals, what's the point? This year's just gonna be another crappy one or whatever. No, we are removing that thought process from our mind, and we are going to plan right here and now. So I'm gonna take you from the biggest of goal planning all the way down to the daily, and then a couple of things that I'm implementing this year that are a little bit different or just fine-tuned to help me truly see the success that I am after. So let's get into it. All right, so first and foremost, the very first thing that we are going to do, we're gonna brain dump our goals and the things that we are interested in achieving this year. So for the first time in years, I am trying to get back into my bullet journal. Now, I don't plan on using my bullet journal necessarily as a daily planner or anything like that, but more so for those bigger things. I also plan to utilize this to plan content for here on YouTube, maybe to plan some different ideas that I have for different goals that I'm working on. So it's more so just going to be like that one notebook, that small little notebook that I can put a lot of my thoughts, goals, and just things that I want to make sure is all in the same place for 2024. So I went through, and I am not the fancy bullet journaler. I would love to be, and maybe someday we will get there, but for now I kept it super simple. So I just gave myself just a little intro page with the date. I put a little quote on here that said, "It's time to embrace grace and overcome obstacles." And so that's just a fun little page. I put a 2024 out, so things that I am not bringing into 2024, and then a 2024 in, and some things that I'm going to be including in 2024. I did my brain dump, which is what I just mentioned. So I have my 2024 goals brain dump. So this is anything that comes to mind. If you watch my goal setting series, I will link it down below, but this is where we start. There are so many things likely swimming around in your brain for what you might want to work on in the year of 2024 and beyond. So even if they are things that you're like, that is so unrealistic for me to work on right now, put it down on paper, because you're physically, literally removing it out of your brain so that you can make space for the things that you actually want to think about or actually will work on. Plus, what I think is really neat is when you come back a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you can look back at maybe that brain dump list and you can be like, oh, that was already a thought 3 years ago, but I had to do X, Y, and Z to make that an actual goal that I'm going to work towards this year. And I just think it's kind of neat. So make sure this is where we start. And so that was part of why I wanted to have this bullet journal too, because again, I could have written my brain dump list on any piece of paper, and you can too. In the event, I'm not necessarily saying you need to go get a bullet journal. This is just kind of my thought process behind it. And that is that I just wanted a space to have everything when it comes to 2024, my goals, all the things that I want to pursue, all of that in one space. So that's where that went. So once I got my brain dump list down, again, if you saw the goal setting series, you know about this, but then I went through and I picked out the goals that I actually realistically am going to work on this year. So the brain dump list allowed me to just basically empty my mind of any thought, anything that I'm like, you know what, that'd be kind of cool, or I want to do that, or whatever. Then coming to this page, I have my 2024 goals. This is what realistically I took from that list, and I literally went through and I put check marks along everything on here that I was like, you know what, yes, I'm going to focus on that 2024. And then the things that don't have check marks, I'm not necessarily worried about. Like, for example, something on here, and some of these things are really simple and like, I mean, not earth-shattering things, but like I put that I wanted to have more chickens. Right now I have 4 chickens. I would like to have more chickens, but like that's not like a die-hard goal that I have. If I get more chickens this year, great. If I don't, not the end of the world. So when it comes to this brain dump list, it doesn't have to be a massive list of huge goals. It can be the little ticky-tack things too, because those things are still clouding up your brain, okay? So got my 2024 goals, and I went through and I basically split mine up into four categories, because this is essentially how my life is right now. So I have a personal section and the goals that I have in the personal section. I have my health and wellness business. If you've been around here a while, you know that I partner with Body, formerly known as Beachbody, and so that's been a business. I've ran that business for 6.5 years. It's what allowed me to step away from the classroom and pursue it full time, and it's what has allowed me to have this life that I have now going on 4 years. So I have business goals with my health and wellness business through Body. I have a section for YouTube, so I have some goals that I have right here for this YouTube space, and then below that I have TPT, and I have some goals that I have for TPT. So essentially that's my life being split up into 4. Your 4 or your however many are going to be different. You may just have work and personal, you know, maybe you just have 1. I technically have 3 different business endeavors that I'm interested in pursuing, because that's just where I am at this point in my life. So personal is 1 section, but those other 3, I didn't just want to put business and then have all of these things that don't necessarily go together. So for me, I have these 3 different things, and I split up my goals accordingly, okay? So once I did that, then I went over and I did my 2024 vision board. So this is also linked in the description box below. I use the website called canva.com. It is free to use. I do use the paid version, but that's because it's a business write-off, and I've used it for 6.5 years for my business and all the things, but you can absolutely access this and do all of this for free. Canva has so many things available for free. So I took those goals that I just put down in this bullet journal, and I now applied them on my vision board. I put an image with it. If you've been around a while, you know that I love attaching an image to it. And a lot of times I will find an image that is of me or is of my life in some way. So for example, on here, I have a goal this year. Is a new goal of mine is 1,000 hours outside. I've seen lots of friends with their kiddos do this, but I want to do this for me. And so I have a picture of me outside walking, you know, so it's like an actual visual of me, right? When it comes to like my Bible time, I have a picture of like my chair, this section right over here where I do my Bible time every day. Okay. So I like to attach an image with it because it's that much more meaningful for me. I'm a visual learner. This is a vision board. Let's put some pictures on there that make it more motivating rather than just a list of a bunch of things. That's just how it works for me personally. You may be somebody who, when you saw my 2024 goal list here, you may be like, that's all I need. Perfect. Maybe you have this, maybe you hang this up somewhere and you don't need the images, and that's totally fine. You have to do what's right for you. But the vision board, that's my thing. So I put them all down here in list format, and then I take that list format and I turn it into this 2024 vision board. So this vision board, now that it's done, I've taken it down now, but it goes on this whiteboard right above my desk, right over here in this section of my office. So with this, I now have all of my goals for the year. Some of them are just habits, like the 1,000 hours outside. That means I'm going to be going on a lot of walks, right? So I have a goal to be early. Like, I'm so tired of being late everywhere and then being stressed out because of it. So I just want to be more intentional about getting places on time and respecting the people that I'm showing up to be there for, right? I want to do 10 pages of personal development a day. We're going to start building our home and furnishing our home this year. So that's something that's on here. My daily Bible time, continuing to serve at church, like those sorts of things. So a lot of these things are things that I'm already doing. Some of them are more so habits rather than goals. But then when it comes to the goals, a lot of my true goals come down to the business endeavors that I'm after. So like with YouTube, my goal is to have 1 video out per week. That's a goal of mine. There for a while, I was thinking 2 videos a week, but I was getting myself so overwhelmed and I was getting no videos out. Right now is a prime example. The first video that I put out in 2024 is on the 15th. So I've technically already missed a week. So my goal is to get in a rhythm where I'm consistently getting you a new video here on this page 1 time a week. A goal when it comes to my Teachers Pay Teachers is not only do I want to be making products, but I've decided I want to attach that with a blog. I want to be able to explain to people, those that are out there searching, Googling, Pinteresting for the products that I'm making, I want there to be some explanation. I think that that would just be really nice because a lot of times the products that I make could be used in various ways, and I think it would be really neat to have that blog space with that. And then with my business, I just want to continue helping women with their health and wellness. I have created actually a new Instagram account that reflects where I'm going and the mission that I have with my business, and that's where Embracing Grace comes from. Through some personal things that I went through this past summer and just everything that kind of went on in 2023. 2023 was a super pivotal, eye-opening, and just kind of clarity type of year for me on where I want to go, how I want to go about getting there, and the value that I want to provide while I'm doing it. You know, health and wellness, a lot of people just think of workouts and diets. That it's so much more than that for me. This journey for the last 6.5 years has been so much more than just following some diet and doing some workout program. It has been transformational in my life. It has helped me reach and strive and work towards goals, believe in myself, build confidence, you know, grow spiritually. All of these things have come all because I chose to focus on my health and wellness, but it was so much more than that. And through that journey, I started out very much that all or nothing mindset person who was so focused on being perfect and tearing myself apart when I wasn't. And now I am the person that embraces grace, and I want to help other women do that because I believe if we can give ourselves a little bit more grace and we can stop beating ourselves up so much, we're going to see success on our journeys when it comes to health and wellness. And our whole families are going to benefit from it. And I'm just so passionate about spreading that out into the world. And so actually as of January, I have created this, like just a couple weeks ago, I've created this new Instagram, and I just have this mission, and I just feel so clear on where I'm going. So that's another big goal that I have, is just to provide value and to really connect with people and help women feel seen, heard, and help them grow in this journey. Whether they ever actually join me as a client or not, I want my Instagram page to be a place of value that they can go to and they can seek understanding and just feeling a part of a community that's embracing grace and moving forward one step at a time and not beating themselves up while they do it. So those are my goals, and like my bigger goals too. So it's a mixture of some bigger goals, but also some of those more typical habits that I always have on my vision board. So after my yearly vision board, then we move over to my 12-week year. So many of you were brought to my page because of my 12-week year video. Thank you, by the way. That video has absolutely blown up compared to anything else on my channel. And I'm just so thankful that I put that out when I did, because I was just learning about the 12-week year and implementing it for the first time whenever I recorded that video and put it up. And it seems to have been very serving for so many. So with that being said, I took my yearly vision board and I thought about basically my 3 business ventures. Those are the 3 goals that I put on my 12-week year. So I have those. I have 3 goals on here, and that is how I broke down my 12-week year. This goes all the way through the end of March. It technically started last week instead of the first week of January. It started last week on January 8th. And so I'm technically at the start of week 2 on that. And I just basically broke down with my Embracing Grace mission and community with my body business, how I can be creating content and providing value and supporting women who decide to follow that account and engage with me there. And one way that I went about doing that is, if you've heard of ChatGPT, I was very intimidated by that for a really long time, but I feel like I finally have conquered the beast, if you will, and I have made ChatGPT like my bestie, and I ended up spending, I don't know, it's probably like an hour or so one day where I just sat there and I asked all kinds of questions, and I told it what I was looking for, and I told it the mission that I was after, and just asking for it to help me come up with content and ideas and how to support the women that I'm after and just all of those things. And I came up with like a, no joke, I think it's like a 25-page document. I ended up copying and pasting a bunch of things from the chat GPT that I had into a Google Doc, and I reorganized things. And I now have an entire content plan that has me set up for success. Every single month of this year, I'm going to have a different overarching topic. So like in the month of January, self-compassion is the topic that we are diving into head first, really leaning into and talking more and more about. And so that's a big part of my 12-week year, is just making sure that I'm coming up with consistent value and showing up and sticking with the topic that I've picked for the month. And I'll also be creating a freebie every single month that will go along with that. So with this month, for example, the self-compassion topic, I made a self-compassion journaling guide, and it comes with a front and back like 25 different journaling prompts that you can sit there and really work through why you don't have self-compassion with yourself and how you can start developing that. And I'm already like 3 or 4 days into doing the journaling every single day with that, and it has already been really transformative for me, and I just feel so excited about that. So that's the first goal of my 12-week year. The next one is my TPT business, and I want to do a blog. So I actually invested in a blogging course a while back, but I never actually did anything with it. And so my goal, like part of my 12-week year, these first couple of weeks, is just to start diving into that blogging course and learning more about what that's going to look like. I feel like it's not too hard to understand, but at the same time, I've already invested in that course. I want to make sure that I'm taking that. So I've got that on here, making my products, of course, that I can sell, all of that. And then the third goal is here on YouTube. That's coming up with weekly content that I can post right here to you guys, that I can be listening to what you're asking for and creating content in that way. I would love to do at least one vlog a month. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Vlogging just takes so much more time. And so those are my 3 goals for my 12-week year. So I took my yearly vision board and I broke that down into a bit smaller chunks, and I gave myself my 12-week year that now lists out what I need to do weekly in order to achieve the first step in these goals. And so that feels really, really good. So I've got that there. And then next, after that, is my monthly vision board. So I am a huge proponent for not just having a yearly vision board, but a monthly one. The yearly vision board is nice, and I do look at it a lot because I want to see the bigger picture and remind myself, what am I working towards? Why am I doing this? But the monthly vision board breaks it down into even more of a bite-sized chunk than what even the 12-week year does. And it is just so nice. And so a lot of times, like, it's just as simple as, like, for example, I have the 1,000 hours outside goal on my yearly vision board. So in the month of January, I set it as a goal to get 30 hours outside, which helped support me in the decision that I decided to do 75 hard for the 3rd time. This is my 3rd time doing it. I am 1 week in, and that's going to help me because it forces me to get outside every single day for at least 45 minutes. And I can tell you right now, it is literally 0 degrees outside in mid-Missouri. And I've walked outside. Obviously, I just do walks. That's what I choose to do for my outdoor workout. If it were not for this challenge, I would not have gone on one single walk this past week, let alone 7 of them. I walked in snow, I walked in sleet, I walked in freezing temperatures. It was -1 one of the days that I went on a walk. So I showed up and I did the things, and that is absolutely helping and supporting me on my way to achieving those 1,000 hours outside. That's another thing that I'm using my bullet journal for, is I'm actually tracking my hours outside. So that's something that I have here in my bullet journal as well. So, and one other thing that I decided to do was print out my monthly vision board smaller. So obviously here's the full page version. I printed it out smaller and cut it, and I put it in my bullet journal, which I thought would be really cool to look back on at the end of the year and be able to flip through and see each of those. I should have probably put my yearly vision board in there too. I did not do that. I could probably still do that. Yeah, I could still do that. There's some pages here at the beginning of this that are like, whoops. Oh, these are just some like stickers. But there's some pages here at the beginning that are like, oh, they talk about like themes. Like I could say page, whatever, this is this. And so maybe I'll put that in there actually. Actually, right here would be a great place to put it. Right here on the other side of this intro page. So I need to do that. But anyways, so I have got my monthly vision board, which is set up to reflect bite-sized chunks, way less overwhelming chunks of the goals that I'm ready to achieve. So, I want to continue on my health journey of completing workout programs, and so a great way for me to hold myself accountable to that is picking a workout program. So I put that on here. I want to continue following my nutrition program and just educating myself in that way and fueling my body well. So that's something that I put on here. 10 pages of PD daily. I had that on my yearly vision board. That's supported in the 75 hard challenge as well, because you have to read 10 pages of PD every single day. So a lot of these things worked out well. I like to drink a gallon of water a day. Hello, 75 hard, you drink a gallon of water a day. So a lot of these things are just like double supported, but my choice to do 75 hard helps support me in achieving those goals that I have set for myself for the entire year and now broken down into a month. So as far as some of my other goals, in order to achieve my goal of 1 video per week on YouTube, I need to get a video out per week. Like I said, I already have missed technically, I guess 2 weeks if you will, since we're on the 15th, but we're starting now, like here we are, right? And then when it comes to TPT, I want to finish that blogging course this month, right? So that I can maybe put up my first blog in February. When it comes to my business, my health and wellness business, I want to be following my content calendar that I made on ChatGPT, and that literally has it laid out for me with content ideas and reels and posts and different things that I can be doing to provide value and just cultivating that community that I'm interested in doing as a part of that new mission with my business. So all of that is kind of listed out here within my monthly vision board. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is I have my planner here. I got this new planner, even though if you saw my video over the summer, I got a planner that technically started at the summer of 2023. I think it started like July 2023. It was supposed to finish out 2023 and go the full year of 2024. And I had fully intended on doing that until I saw this planner at Aldi. So I can't actually link this, but I saw this planner at Aldi and it was everything. I planted a really, really great garden this past year. I've planted 2 other gardens prior to this last year and they've been fine. But last year I planted a garden and it was thriving. I spent so much time out there. I really, really took care of it and I loved everything about it. And so the front of this planner says, to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. And I just feel like that is so fitting. It's just so good for what it is that I'm trying to do this year and all of that. So got this new planner and I love the layout. So I had shared before that I just don't need a daily planner anymore. I need more of a weekly spread. And what I love about this one is you have Monday through Sunday on this side, and then on this side you have like your focus 3, so the top 3 things that you're focusing on for the week. There's an entire to-do list, which I could just brain dump my to-do list and then take that and then put it on the individual days if I wanted to. There's a shopping list. I didn't think I would use that, but I actually have used it more than I realized. We just started this week, so this is pretty bare. There's a little habit tracker, which I haven't made an official habit tracker because I have this here and I think I just want to do that 1 week at a time. I think that's really nice. There's a to prep for next week section, which is really nice because if it's like, okay, I need to make sure I'm doing these things, I could go ahead and flip to the next week, or I could just put it right here and then there's just a notes and ideas section. But I've really, really enjoyed this. And then in the back, it also has pockets, which is where I've been keeping my 12-week year and my content plan. And it's just, I love it. I really, really, really love it. So when it comes to this though, every single week on Sundays is when I like to do it. I get out my 12-week year and I look at what are this week's activities. And before I even do that, I really have to look back on the week prior and say, did I complete those week's activities? Because if I didn't complete last week's activities, I need to probably find somewhere in here in my planner this week to get that done before I can move on. Because the way that the 12-week year is set up, it builds upon itself. Unless it's something you just do week after week, like creating a video to put on YouTube. Obviously, if I didn't make a video last week, I could still make a video this week. It has nothing to do with last week necessarily. But when it comes to like my blogging course, for example, I'm probably not going to be writing blogs unless I finish my blogging course. So if I'm behind on the blogging course, I need to either make up for lost time or push back my first blog post, that sort of a thing. So I look at the week prior and check off, what did I do, what did I not do? And then I move to this week and think, okay, now what's next, right? So that is how I literally can sit down and plan out my week. I can pick the biggest 3 things that I need to focus on for the week. I can make a brain dump to-do list of what else needs to get done. But the 12-week year literally helps me do that, and it is so, so nice. And so then past that, once I have those tasks, then I can look at my schedule. I've been doing some subbing and I already know this week I'm subbing on Wednesday and Thursday. So I already know I have 2 days that I don't have a lot of time to get things done during the day. So I either need to plan to do those in the evenings, do them in the mornings. I watch my niece on Tuesdays and Fridays, so I don't get a whole lot done on the days that she's here either, unless during nap time sometimes. But otherwise, I have today. Today I'm getting a ton of things done because I have to. Like, I have to get a lot of things done in order to set my week up for success and get the momentum going. And so once I know what the weekly tasks are, everything that needs to get done for this week by looking at my 12-week year, then I can start plugging things in to my day-to-day, realistically knowing like, hey, I'm subbing these 2 days, full day. So I'm out of commission essentially from 7:30 until 3:30 because drive time and all of that included. So I already know that time is not going to be allowed for any of these things right here, right? So that is how I basically plan from the year. I break it down quarterly, I break it down monthly, I break it down weekly, and then I break it down to the day. And I know it seems like a lot, and I know that it kind of seems overwhelming initially, but by doing it that way, I'm so clear on what needs to be done. And I'm also so clear on what doesn't need to be done. I am guilty of being somebody who in the past, I would think of all of these million things that needed to be done because I didn't do a brain dump list. And then I would try to do all of these things that actually didn't need to be done for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then the things that did need to get done that were urgent were falling by the wayside because I was getting either excited about a project or whatever instead of doing what needed to be done. And so by focusing on it in this way and being so clear on it in this way, it has helped me so much know that what I'm doing today is all that needs to be done because I have a plan for what's going to get done next and how and when and all of that. So anyways, so there's all of that. The only other things that I haven't touched on are my word for the year is overcome. So like I mentioned earlier, 2023 was a bit of a rough year between some personal things that went on, working with my health and wellness business, some people questioning my character. As an Enneagram 1, all we ever want is to hear that we're doing a good job. And so when we don't hear that, it makes it really hard. So I chose the word overcome because it just felt fitting. I feel like I let a lot of what happened in 2023 affect me and how I showed up for the world and how I actually worked towards my goals and more so didn't work towards my goals. And I needed some time to grieve some of the things, and I'm glad that I took that and all of that. But this year I'm ready to overcome the obstacles that I have faced and I'll continue to face and keep moving towards the things that fill my cup and that I truly believe I was put on this earth to do. So overcome felt like a really fitting word. And then something new that I am doing this year monthly is I'm going to pick a Bible verse. This is technically 2 Bible verses, but I'm going to pick a Bible verse to kind of just reflect what it is that I'm wanting to work towards, achieve all of that in that month. And so this was actually from church 2 weeks ago, and immediately as I heard it, I was like, I love that. Like, I need that. And so it was, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my concerns. See if there is any offensive way in me. Lead me in the everlasting way. And that is Psalm 139, 23 through 24. So these 4 things, my Bible verse, my word of the year, my monthly vision board, and my yearly vision board all hang on a whiteboard right above my desk so that I can see them every single day, look at them, be reminded of them. And then my 12-week year and my content calendar, those live in the back of my new planner because there's just a nice little pocket here to put them so that when I go to plan my week, I can pull this out and I can do that and then put it right back if I need to refer back to it. It's all in the same place. And then I have my bullet journal that kind of just has anything else. So really just like anything else that I want to do. I have put all the like monthly calendars in here. And so this is kind of my plan of where I will put like YouTube video ideas, content, like when I want to get things posted, that kind of a thing. My thought was that that would go in here, one space for that. So that's in here. I have some other things like an ideal morning routine, an ideal evening routine. So I've always had a morning routine that I've set up for myself. I'm somebody who I just know when I have a little bit of an idea of what I want to get accomplished in the mornings, if I have a routine, I'm more likely to actually do it. I've never done that with evenings. And I finally was like, you know what? I want something like that in the evenings. And I've realized by being a little bit more intentional with what I'm trying to do in my evenings, I'm getting more things done that I actually want to get done. For example, I am actually like washing my face and making sure to get my retainers in, and I'm actually getting off of my phone with at least an hour before I go to sleep to, you know, get that blue screen time away. And so just by doing that, I've been so much more intentional, but also I feel so much more rested the next morning when I wake up, and I'm so much more likely to crush my morning routine when my evening before has been better. So that's been really, really cool to experience. Some other things that I have are Bible verses, like my favorite Bible verses that I've come across. I want to put those in there. So like my one for January, that would be a good one to put in here. I have a Bible reading log. I'm not really sure what I want to do with that because my goal is to read the Bible every day. So I don't really know. I have a weekly taxes tracker in here that I want to make sure that I'm doing my taxes weekly. I've said that year after year and I don't actually do it, and then I get really upset with myself because then, like right now, we have our tax appointment set and I did not track my taxes at all last year, so I'm gonna have to sit down and literally waste like 2 to 3 days, because that's how long it ends up taking me every single time when I have to sit down and literally go back through the entire previous year and track all of my business expenses and all of those things. It's exhausting, and I know there are different programs and different things out there, but being just a small business owner, I don't feel the need to invest in that. If I could just stay on top of actually doing it each week, it would be no problem. I did that 2 years ago up until like the middle of summer. I crushed it. Like I every single Friday I would sit down and I would track my taxes, and it was wonderful. So I just need to get back to doing that. So I have a little tracker to like check off each week to make sure I did it. And then I also have a savings tracker. Like I said earlier, we are building our home and hopefully furnishing it and all of the things this year. And so I thought it would be fun to try to save up $5,000 in an account that will just be for like the odds and ends for our home. So like the mirrors, the lamps, like the little random ticky-tack things that you need for a home that are like annoying expenses that it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go spend so much money on, you know, whatever, you know, extension cords, or, you know, whatever it might be. And this way I'm gonna be like, no, we have an account that I worked really hard to save up for, and that will be where those little ticky-tack things are gonna come from. So I'm excited about that. I have a PD book log, so any of the PD books that I read this year, and then also a fiction book log. I will say I do use the Goodreads app, and I love the Goodreads app. It's so handy and nice just to do that, but I thought this would be a nice place, so we'll see if I actually do it. I'm really good at like coming up with these ideas, but not always like putting it in here. So I have blog list, so blog ideas once I start blogging, to write all that down in here. And then a TPT product idea log. So just any ideas that I have for TPT is kind of my brain dump and going through and making those products. So I think that's it. Yeah. So that is what's in my bullet journal. The only other thing that I wanted to mention that I am definitely leaning into and gonna give it a full year of just diving in and leaning into it is the GrowthDay app. So Brendon Burchard is the author of High Performance Habits and multiple other personal development books, but I feel like he's, at least for me, most known for High Performance Habits. He is the founder of the GrowthDay app. And I used to invest in Audible. I would pay for Audible monthly. I think it was like $14.95. And I would listen to just PD books there when I would drive a lot for work and just different things. That's how I would listen to those PD books. And you would essentially get one PD book a month. Well, GrowthDay has already served me so much. I wasn't using Audible anymore, basically, and I realized it was an expense that I just didn't need, but I missed the PD. I missed listening to PD when I go on walks, when I'm doing dishes, when I'm driving in the vehicle. Like, I love music, but I'm not a big drive and listen to music person. I know that's kind of weird, but so I decided to give GrowthDay a chance. It is more expensive. I think it's $29.99 that I pay for, but there's a daily fire. So every single day it's a podcast style where Brendon Burchard himself comes on and gives just this motivational chat about whatever it might be. And they're always so good. They're always so serving. They meet me right where I'm at. They call me out. I just feel so good listening to them. He's faith-based, which I also really enjoy, but the GrowthDay app is full of so much more. You can do a daily life score. You can put goals in there. You can set plans. Like, I haven't even used it to its full capacity yet, but my goal is to dive into using the app and everything that comes with it so much more. Last week I did a transformation week challenge. It was like a master class essentially. That's a part of that. And that was really, really cool and helpful. So that is the only other piece that I really want to add into my daily life, and I've already added it in. I think I subscribed to that app at the beginning of December. So I've done it officially for over a month, and I've listened to the Daily Fire most days. I think the only days that I sometimes don't listen to it are Saturdays and Sundays, but lately I've been listening even on those days, and it's just been so good. I just keep telling myself, if I can fill my mind with 25 minutes of personal development and growing type concepts and topics, I'm going to be so much better off than if I don't fill it with those 25 minutes. And $29.99 is a bit of an investment, but it's also a business, it's a tax write-off. Like, I get to write that off as something for my business, and it's worth it to me. It's so worth it to me, and it has been phenomenal. So I'm really going to lean into that this year and really try to utilize the entire, platform for all that it's worth, and just watch myself thrive. My main mission is, when I have downtime where I normally would go scroll social media, I'm going to go over to the GrowthDay app, and I'm going to find a different way for me to learn and to grow, or to journal, or to do my life scores, or whatever that might be, because I know that's going to be so much more serving in me actually reaching the goals that I've set for myself, rather than just going on social media and scrolling. And we're all guilty of it from time to time, but I want to be more mindful of that, and I want to be more mindful of how I'm using my time. That's something else that I have felt a lot lately, is I just feel like I've been wasting a ton of time. I feel like a lot of the second half of 2023, I just wasted a lot of time, and I hate feeling that way. I want to look back on every single year and feel accomplished, and like I did something and I was productive and all of that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm embracing grace, and I'm fully here for that. But I can do better than what I did the last half of 2023. And I know that the only way to do that is being intentional and being really mindful of that time, the actions, what I'm putting in my brain, all of that. So my coffee is probably cold now. I have talked your ear off. The only other thing that I had is this right here that's been underneath my foot. And this is part of actually the GrowthDay app. And it is kind of a battle plan. So essentially it's, you print out a calendar for every single month of the year, and you go through and just start brain dumping things that that are going to happen. So birthdays, holidays, whatever that might be. Maybe you're going on vacation, blah, blah, blah. But you have basically just like a layout of all 12 months. So when I very first did this, I laid them all out, and then I'd only stapled it after I got done. But I went through and I mainly used this for my health and wellness business, of when I wanted to start my next group and when I want to be adding clients on so that I can make sure I'm supporting them. I want to have more in-person community events, so where I'm getting to hang out with some of my local clients, in person, so different things like that. And so I just went through and kind of did that with that battle plan of, essentially you just lay all of those things out, and you just put anything in there that you can think of right now, and you can always come back, you can change it, update it, whatever. And so that's the only other piece. And so that helped me kind of with some of my yearly goals and quarterly goals and all of that with my health and wellness business. So I think I have touched on everything. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you're not feeling overwhelmed, but instead inspired that this is just one way that one random person on the internet plans and gets clarity on what the heck she's doing and how she's going to go about doing it, right? And so I really am a proponent of thinking bigger to start, and then whittling that down into, okay, what needs to happen today? Because I truly was the person that was so guilty of setting these big, crazy, scary goals and then doing nothing with them, because I was so overwhelmed by the time I got done setting those goals, because I didn't think about what it took today to make that happen, or what it took tomorrow to make that happen, because I would overwhelm myself and I wouldn't break it down. So now that I have a system where I start really big and I break it down littler and littler and littler, I'm clear on what needs to get done today, so that I can get to tomorrow, and I can get to next week, and I can get to next month, and I can get to next quarter. And before you know it, 2024 has been a successful year, because I took the time to break those things down and to really think about it all. So that's what I got for you. I hope that this was worth the wait. I know some of you had messaged me and were like, where's your plan with me? What's going on? And so we just mixed up our little coffee chat, our mid-month coffee chat, with our 2024/January plan with me. I hope that this all makes sense, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you being here. I am so thankful for this platform. I am so thankful for getting to put these videos out and getting to share this with you and getting to just be a part of your planning life. This is something that obviously I could talk about for hours and hours at a time. I love talking about this kind of stuff. It lights my fire, and it's such a passion of mine to get to share that with others, and just to share my thought process of it, because I know that maybe somebody else out there is thinking like I am. And so if I can help you feel less overwhelmed and actually achieve the goals that you're after, that's what I'm here for. So anyways, cheers. Happy January 15th, mid-month, and happy 2024. Officially, this is the first video going out in 2024 from this channel, and I am just so thankful to be here. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you if you've been around from the beginning or any time at all. If you've chosen to subscribe and be a part of this and you're still here at the end of this video, you are amazing, and I'm so thankful for you. So let me know how your goal setting went. Do you do anything similar to mine? Do you use a bullet journal? Do you do monthly vision boards? Are you using the free templates that I have in the description box below, which I do? I have in the description box below is a template for, it still says 2023 on it, but honestly you can go in and easily change that. I thought about updating it and changing it, but really I don't want people to feel like they have to re-download a new document every single time. You go in, you download the yearly vision board, the monthly vision board, the 12-week year template. It's all there for you to just edit and adjust for you. And that way you can just use the same document over and over again. Like, it's so easy to edit those things. So I purposefully didn't go in there and edit those because I just am confident that you can do that. So I think that's all. All right, see you in the next video. See ya.